Okay, this is another way of understanding the concept about character and integrity development. Very many times, many people keep on posing questions about how best they can manage the behavior of their children, both at home and maybe at school. So, in this very episode, we should be able to understand the ways, the possible and practical ways how one can manage the discipline of their children, whether they are at home and whether they are at school. So, ladies and gentlemen who could be there watching this video today, I want us to discuss together. We look at the practical ways of managing the discipline of our children in different areas of growth. Remember, my presentation today is going to be coming directly from the words that were put right by one of the greatest psychologists, Freud. He just talked about the growth and development of a child in line with the behavior, the character. So in this case, he suggested a number of issues, the stages that should be managed, that should be observed clearly, right from the oral stage, the annual stage, the phallic stage, and other stages up to the genital stage. And then indeed, he mentioned that in case any of these stages is not managed well by, of course, parents and other people who associate with children during these different stages of growth, these children are likely to experience fixation at a later stage in their life. So very many times people come up to ask about why some children behave the way they behave, but then they forget to remember that there are a number of factors that determine the difference in human beings. We are created naturally, we reason differently, we behave differently, but of course our behavior entirely depends on the number of factors, which could be maybe cultural factors. It could be from the home environment, our social environment, and very many other factors that can contribute to the way we finally behave, including peers, the social environment, the social factors. So today, I want to share my opinions about the possible and very practical ways how we can come. Basically, this will be focusing on the nurturing of behavior by the parents themselves, right? Very many times parents say it is the role of teachers, I have paid fees, handle the discipline of my children. But then, even teachers sit at the back and they say, look, charity begins at home. So it becomes a conflict reality, you see? Charity begins at home, that is a teacher saying, no, you should come to school when your behavior is matching with our standards. And maybe we nurture, we groom this into the perfect position, right? But then the parent is saying, no, my role is to look for fees and I pay, then the behavior is supposed to be handled by the expert teachers. So at the end of the day, our focus and opinion, it comes up with a number of questions. Then who is responsible for the behavior of the children we raise? This is what I think. That the behavior, the discipline generally of children entirely relies in the hands of different people who come into contact with this child. The child can be shaped, character can be developed. We can develop character, we can develop integrity, and indeed this is where my focus is. That why have we kept on experiencing a number of crises in terms of behavior in this country? Yeah? Very many times you hear there is this kind of crisis, embezzlement, corruption, you mentioned there are very many. But then what is the root cause of the entire crisis? Maybe no one can lack character and integrity and you expect this person to be honorable. And this is why I have to say that an honorable without character and integrity is so horrible. Therefore, to me, in my own opinion, these children should be nurtured right from home. And how do we do it as parents? One, maybe these children need to be loved. We need to make these children our friends. They must be our very good friends. We must show them what is supposed to be taken right. Yeah. There is, this tendency of pampering children. It's good in some cases, but in some other cases, you have to be very critical and keen about the way you do it. You see, if you befriend your children, you let them understand what is good and what is bad. You let them understand when to do what and why. You let them understand. Many times parents, train lying, directly or indirectly. When so and so comes home, please, you say I'm not around. What? You are inside. And the child, becomes confused. Should I say that is inside the bedroom? Should I lie? He's not around? So at the end of it all, you are doing a gradual training of the discipline that you will regret about with time, but then maybe at this particular moment you don't see it. So we need to discourage them from lying whatsoever. We are training these great leaders in this country whom we don't want to hear that they have grabbed iron sheets, they have grabbed this, because they will have a great humor and a great sense for every mankind. You see, then expose them. Let these kids know. We have talked about the effects of the phone, the effects of A, B, C, D, but at the end of it all, you tell these children drinking alcohol is bad, but then you stop there. Go on and explain why is it bad. Okay, you are having this phone. Instead of giving your phone for them to to watch cartoons and whatnot, let them watch those effects of accidents. The effects of alcohol consumption. Let them understand. You see, this was a drunk. This happened. This did this because of this drug, abuse. Marijuana, mira, mirunji, eating. So let them understand why we stop them from doing what we want them to do. They will appreciate the training we are taking them through. Then, when you are moving well and you realize that they are most likely to capture the behavior you don't want them to capture, please let them be in isolated places. I have seen very many parents who go hang up with their own children. Before they know, these are places where very sorts of people are also coming in to enjoy, to have a moment. So before they know, these kids are so keen and critical, and that is where we mess up from. They pay so much attention to those things we don't want them to learn, because those are the things perhaps which interest them. So at the end of the day, it's hard now to start cleaning a memory card which has already recorded some toxic information. Yet, like as it was put right, that our babies and all human beings, we are born with tabula rasa. We are born with a blank slate. Our brain is very clean. It is like a new memory card. It only consumes and grabs whatever content you put on. Therefore, if you put a wrong content, expect for the memory card to play a wrong content. But then, if you clean the content that you put on your memory card, automatically it will be able to produce the same clean content. In my own view, we can work hard to make sure that the character, the discipline of these children is, put right. We need to appreciate them. Very many times our children, are disappointed. And before we complain about their behavior, you behave like this, you are supposed to behave like this, they are already disappointed. Because maybe we are stopping them from doing what we already do in their presence. Very, very unfortunate. And some bold children currently, they will come up and tell you boldly, you know what, Daddy, last time you told me that drinking alcohol is bad, but I always see you drink with mama at home. What is that one that you are drinking? Right? And because they are so curious, they want to test. If you don't give them an opportunity to test, then you are hiding. In fact, you are piling a challenge that you don't know. They will have to wait until you just, of course, leave home, and they also go to experiment, because they feel like what you do, what Daddy does at home. Remember, you are the earthly God's parents. What Daddy and Mommy do at home must be a very good thing for me to do. You see? Then the words we talk to them. You see, when every other time they make mistakes, we feel like this shouldn't have been them. My dear, how many times have we made mistakes? And what about if we are to be criticized for every mistake we make in life? Then maybe God would give up on us. And he says, you know what, you have made very many mistakes. Every other time you make a mistake, I come up and say, you know what, this is a mistake, I have forgiven you. You do the second one, I have forgiven you. Maybe when they got 10 or plus, he says, no, I can't forgive you anymore. So you see, even God keeps on forgiving us, and he doesn't speak to us rudely. And that should be the same way we are nurturing behavior in our children, by using very polite and organized, suitable words to them, where they will easily realize their mistake, they know why they must avoid it, and eventually they go on to putting things right. Let's create mentorship, programs within our families. Let the elder child be a mentor for this mentee, the young one. In a family where a young one is smarter than the elder one, please let the opposite, the vice versa, is also true, is also practical. Let this one also mentor the other one in their areas of expertise, right? Then the words we use, we must be very keen and very critical. The heavy words are not supposed to be wired to these children, because you are mentoring them, you are training. Time will come when they have no option apart from using the same word, because the teacher has used it, because the parent has used it, and they also said, this must be the right word, I should replace with this one to mean this. You get? So the best training comes from us people who have a direct contact with these children. It can be parents, it can be teachers, it can as well be the peers. Therefore, as a parent, choosing the right peer for your child is very, very important. In schools we do. Mbuya Parents is one of the known schools in this country where discipline is trained, is groomed, character and integrity programs. They are running in the school. And the school has got a strong emphasis on the implementation, development and growth of these programs, so that the character itself is monitored right from the beginning up to the end. So in such kind of an atmosphere, one is able to grab the right concepts, the concepts that train the mind about what you must do right and what you must not do whatsoever in life, right? So I want in this very episode, ladies and gentlemen, for us to perceive it right, and we know our roles, we know when to actualize them, and we know when to stand in strongly for our right inputs, so that whatever we train today, we know it's going to yield tomorrow. I will thank you for your continuous, of course, support, and of course, viewing, subscribing, supporting this program as we run down. For now, respect.